Greetings future fans, it is I, Eurogamer's Ian Higton, back once again for my yearly look at what's in store for the human race according to the peculiar predictions of video games from the past. The combined events of 2025 were yet another big old bundle of bullshit in both video games and real life, but perhaps things are finally starting to look up now that the year 2000 is 26 years old. Well, as always, there's only one way to find out. So let's consult 5 video games set in 2026 so we can see what's in store for mankind now that Big Ben's Bing Bongs have boosted us into New Year's o'clock. Arena, or to give it its incredibly badass alternative title, Arena Maze of Death, is a Game Gear game from 1996 that tells the story of a corrupt government's attempt to seize control of all media. Working in collusion with a broadcasting company called Astralnet, they've been feeding the masses filtered information and propaganda for a couple of years now. But the game's protagonist, Guy Freelander, a pro-democratic rebel, has had enough, and he's gotten his sweaty little mitts on a videotape that reveals further plans to exploit the media in its entirety. 30 years ago, people actually thought that the idea of the media gratefully licking the boots of tyrannical right-wing governments and asking for more, please, was just pure fantasy. Oh, how quaint. All sad similarities with real life end here though, because the broadcast station where Guy needs to play his little tape to the public is located in an area called the Arena, which is hidden deep within Astralnet's headquarters. A building that is protected by androids, robots, and, for some unknown reason, quite a lot of mutants. Okay, so Fox News doesn't have any androids or robots yet, but it definitely has its fair share of mutants, so maybe Arena was pretty prescient after all. Tech-wise, according to the weapon upgrades page in Arena's manual here, this year we're going to finally get our hands on not only laser rifles, but also some pretty snazzy handheld photon launchers and ion cannons too. Now, that might sound pretty far-fetched, but it's really nothing compared to the text you get for completing the game, which seems to suggest that exposing the government's corruption to the general public will somehow enact positive change. Spoilers from 2025 here, but that most definitely won't happen. 2025 was a pretty crappy year, and lots of bad stuff happened, but we can at least be safe in the knowledge that we didn't send a baby out to war. Or at least, I don't think we did. I hope we didn't, but who bloody knows at this point? The same can't be said for 2026, however, because, according to Capcom's sci-fi beat-em-up from 1991, Captain Commando, we're going to be strapping a 2-year-old baby into a man-sized mech just so it can dropkick alien hoodlums who are led by a maniacal alien called Scumicide. Jeez, no wonder he's maniacal with a name like that. He must have gotten bullied something rotten in space school, the poor lad. But wait, there are at least 2 good reasons for putting a baby into harm's way here. Firstly, this is no normal baby. Hoover, or Babyhead as he's also known, is actually a super genius who made the suit himself. And secondly, he's actually part of an elite band of champions led by Captain Commando, who will rise up this year and erase crime not just from the planet Earth, but also from all of the galaxy too. Which is nice of them. So will Captain Commando's prediction of futuristic, superpowered supercriminals invading Earth come true in 2026? Well, I wouldn't put money on it if I were you, but it's definitely more likely than its other prediction on the first level, which shows 3D TVs making a massive comeback. Which is a shame really, because I've got about 30 3D Blu-rays here and nothing to play them on.
I have no response from Sam. Sam? Sam, are you there?
AI and its potential hazards were huge talking points in 2025, but so far, aside from it being one massive plagiarism machine, nothing too bad has happened with it. Step forward then 2019's Observation, a sci-fi thriller set on a multinational space station of the same name that's served by an AI called Sam. He's the Hal we've got at home, don't you know?
I am here.
Now, because Observation is a fairly new game, and also a pretty good one, I don't want to spoil the story too much. But suffice it to say, Sam starts going a little bit wonky after something strange knocks the space station offline. That's right, if you thought Elon Musk teaching AI how to behave like a massive twat was a danger to humanity already, well, just you wait until you see how bad things get in Observation. They get pretty bad.
What's going on, Sam? What is that noise? Sam, what is that? Sam, respond! What the hell is going on?
You can't save her. You're 1,000 miles away. And you will find us. She's gonna bleed.
2011's F.E.A.R. 3, or F.E.A.R. if you go by what it says on the box, takes place 9 months after the events of F.E.A.R. and F.E.A.R. 2, which included clone armies, scary children, psychic powers, and the evaporation of a town called Fairport. While none of those things actually happened in 2025, except for, I guess, scary children, hello to the movies Bring Her Back and Weapons, F.E.A.R. 3 is here to throw another couple of predictions into the mix for 2026. First up, there's zombies in the form of Fairport's remaining population, who've been driven insane by paranormal activity. Then there's this messed up manifestation of hatred called the Creep, which looks a bit like Slenderman if he was crossed with the Predator and also a stripper. All of this is confined to a small area of Fairport though, so really it's not going to bother any of us in the long run. Instead, what might be quite cool is final confirmation that we'll be getting actual badass mechs and power suits to drive in 2026, which is great news for everyone except for the people who are standing in front of one. Oh, and the very best thing about the mech suits in F.E.A.R. 3 is that they are not piloted by babies. Although a baby in a mech suit definitely would count as a scary child, so that's a twofer if this prediction comes true. And finally, there's some great news for fans of late 90s boy bands this year, because it looks like well-conditioned side partings are about to be back in fashion, thanks to the welcome return of Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil Requiem.
Yeah.
In a first for this series of predictions videos, Resident Evil Requiem isn't actually a game from the past. Hell, at the time of making this video, it's not even out yet, so it's not even 100% confirmed that the game is set in the year of our zombie horde 2026. But according to the Resident Evil fandom wiki, Requiem does take place 28 years after Raccoon City was nuked at the end of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So the maths adds up, sorta. Anyway, if this does turn out to be true, it won't just be side partings that make a comeback this year, because, according to this shot, we should also be treated to a gnarly zombie infestation too. At least I hope they were zombies. If not, it means that 2026 is going to be the year that Leon Kennedy finally becomes an axe murderer. Ooh. In terms of new predictions for 2026, again, it's all a bit vague at this point, but Requiem's most recent trailer shows the main big bad Victor wearing a weird headset that some have theorised is called a morphic visor. No one knows what the Morphic visor does yet, but leaks of the GameStop Deluxe Edition do suggest that Leon and Grace will have customizable versions of their own to wear. So perhaps it's a new piece of VR or AR style hardware that'll maybe help us spot people who are infected with the C virus. Honestly, I'm just hoping the Morphic visor doesn't turn out to be another VR headset from Sony, considering how much it continues to drop the ball with the PSVR 2 and how there are currently no plans for official VR support for Requiem at all. I seriously don't think a new headset from Sony would be worth the investment, even if this one did help us to avoid being a tasty snack for a bunch of zombies. It's a sad time for PSVR 2 owners. I should know. I'm one of them. And that, my friends, is 2026 according to video games. With more government corruption glossed over by the media to look forward to, plus murderous AI and super space criminals ready to enslave the human race, things could definitely be looking better. But hey, at least we might be able to waste hundreds of pounds on soon-to-be obsolete tech like 3D TVs and another PlayStation VR headset. Consumerism makes everything better. So, will the real 2026 be a better time than the 2026s featured in those games? There's only one way to find out, and that's to keep on keeping on. So stick with Zoe, Jim, and me here at Eurogamer, and we'll get through it all together. Unless we see a baby in a mech suit, that is. If that happens, we'll be too busy phoning social services. Anyway, thanks for watching. Do like this video if you enjoyed it. Check out my past predictions videos, which are on screen in a playlist to click on right now. And make sure to subscribe for more from Eurogamer in 2026. Oh, and don't forget to have a great new year, of course. Goodbye. And watch out for scary babies in mech suits. They're coming.